Hi friends, Soda's Creative Corner saying thank you for joining me today. I want to show you how to make this 4x4 hidden message shutter card. This is a little different because it has two hidden messages. Because of the way that I have the closure, you can put a little hidden message behind here, and then when they open it up, it has another hidden message. I saw these cards being made. I wanted to try it, but I was kind of having difficulty with the window panel and along with the making the shutters. So I figured out a method that works out for me, and I thought I'd share it and see if it works out for you. Here's another card where it has a band, and on this band you can say something on the back with a message saying, "Let me count the ways," and then when you open it up, it says, "I love you." So these are some of the cards that I've made, and I'm going to show you how to make them today by providing the measurements and some of the little tips that might help you be successful in when you're making one. I tried to go on live stream earlier, but my machine was acting up, so I thought I'd take the time to give you the measurements and more detail of how to be successful in making your own. So let's get started. So we start off with an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. Preferably a weight of 65 is nice. What I have here, let's see. So I'll go ahead and take one out, and then we'll measure it at 8 and 4 and cut it down. So when I want to put the pattern paper on this card, what I do is I take I cut down a pattern shape that's 8 by 4. So then the first one that I cut down will be 3 by 7/8, and then the other two will be 1 7/8. Two of those. Actually, you'll be making 4 of those and then 2 of the 4s. So here's 2 that I just did, and then 2 that I did earlier, and they all should match up. And they do. So that's how I cut down the pattern paper. I take the 8 by 4, that's this size of the card, and then I just bring it in by the first line that's on the ruler or on the trimmer, which makes it 3 7/8. Okay, so we have all these, which is our pattern paper, and the next step we're going to do is make the wings. I call them wings because when they're on, they look like wings. And see, here they are right here on the larger card. And I don't know, when I open it up, it just reminds me of wings. So I call them shutter wings. And I'm going to show you how to make that. And when we make it, it's really easy cutting out the triangle, and also I'm going to explain placement to you. And there's 2 ways of setting the shuttle cards in, and I'm going to show that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. the back side, and I'll go ahead and glue these also down on the inside. And then we'll go ahead and move on to making the shutters. I want to share a tip with you. So I put that other card aside, and I'm also making this card because I want to share some tips. But the first tip I want to share with you is if you don't have that hole puncher like I do that makes those latches, you might have something similar. This is the hole punch that I use to get the latches. But if you don't have that, you can take 2 strips of at least 65 weight paper, 2 inches by half an inch, and then what I did was I took a hole punch of the pattern paper that I'm using here, and you put it on top like this on either side, glue it down, and then make sure that right here where before you put it here, that the latches are at least a half an inch or more. Should be more than a half an inch wide. I think that's an inch. Make it an inch wide here, and then you'll just be able to stick your little tag right inside. You don't have to have that special punch. You can do it this way, or just be creative and put arrows on either side if you want to do it like that. Hole punch that, or you can let your imagination run, because it could be little flower punch outs here if you wanted to. But I'm just going to do it like that, and you're going to see that once I put it on this card, it'll blend in really well and it'll look just as nice. But we'll go into the inside because there's a tip in there as well when I get further along on the other card. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it to this card so you can see how easy it is to make your own. You can make these anything you want, you know. So let's go ahead and just attach them. I'm going to use this weight and put it down here, and then I measured it out here, so I think right there. And let's put this other one down. Put it right here. That looks good. Push it down. I have double-sided tape on the back to make it a little easier than glue. So I'll go ahead and put the weight on them. Let me go ahead and put a weight on there for a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and try this out. So you can barely see it, but there's a little latch there, and you can just slide that through. So you don't need a fancy punch. That looks just as nice. So we'll go ahead and continue on with the safari card that we're working on. I went ahead and glued the back, and here's the front. I went ahead and put the 2 tabs here, and this is what I'm thinking. I made a shorter piece to go here so we can have some white showing, and the shutter wings I thought I would put it in green, so we need to cut those out. And then I took this paper, and even though it's thin like copy paper, I put double-sided tape on the back, and then I put white cardstock on it. You can get this double adhesive in sheets. So I just cut this sheet down to fit. And here it is. So in case this is too thick, I have a backup. So what we need to do with this panel is give you the measurements and then show you how to punch the hole. You can use the circle hole, and I think that's what we use with this one instead of the flower hole. And I need to get that together and get these measurements called out to you. So let me go ahead and get that bit of information for you. So we make a template on any size of panel that I have, and I fold it in half, and then I fold it in half again, and you'll always find your center. And you measure from the others. You don't measure the half-inch tab size, so it's 3 inches, and so you make your template at 3 inches. You put it in the middle, and you mark it, and then you'll cut it from either end, and that's how you get your triangle. The other way you can do it is you can go here on your scoreboard, you go at 1.5 inches, and then measure 1/2 inch down. So it would be 1.5. And if you want to turn it to the side like this, and 1.5 inch, and just give it a little mark. I don't know if you can see that, or you can pencil it in. That's how I do it. So I'll go ahead and give it a cut. Then I do the other one. And then you can just measure it up. I just like to do it like that because it keeps my eyes sharp. Now, if for any reason when you put them together, you should have a nice little fit. And when you fold these over on either side, when you put it inside your card, it has to be far enough away from this fold. So we'll get that set up. I like to make these first, and then we'll make the panel and punch it out. We'll try with this first and see if it's not too bulky. So now that I have this set up, there's two ways that we can go ahead and put it on the card. We can put it this way, where the flaps come on the inside, or we can put it like this, and you get more of a pop. Let me show you with these cards here. If you look at this card right here, when I open it, you can see the crease line. So that means that the card, these wings, lay flat. and you can hear it close. Now the card I have here the tabs are on the inside, and so it has more of a pop to it. So they're like this. Where the black and white one, the black and white card here, they're like this. So that's your preference. If you want it to have a, a poof, like you can see right here, or lay more flat, as you see right here. I don't know if that helps. But so this is with the tabs on the outside, the tabs on the inside. Tabs on the outside, tabs on the inside. And that'll give you a choice of how you want to lay it. So that's the wings we're going to put on next. And before we do that, I'm going to give you the measurement to this, and it's 3 inches wide by 5 inches long, and then you're going to have score a ½ inch on either side. So that would be a ½ inch, and then score at 4½ inch. Now one of the things that I do is to get the center is, and that's why I put these wings on first, and it'll look like this. And that's, you can barely see this latch, but this is what I meant about showing you another tip on this card. When you open it, you have to be aware of when these flaps come down that it has, I have like a 1/4 inch gap here, so it's not getting in its way when we close it. Okay, and also these triangles, one has to be on the top and one flap on the bottom, so that it'll be able to close. If it doesn't close, that might be one of the reasons if they're laying just like this. Well, it closes right there, but it might get stuck. So it's best to have it crisscross like that. And then what I wanted to show you is I made this tab a little short. I actually made it at 4 1/4. But when I went and put it down, if I was to fold it under, see, then it actually kind of gets in the way of the end here, and it doesn't close smoothly. So what I did was, and I also had the double-sided tape because I was so confident. Well, I went ahead and just unfolded the tab, and then I put a little something here to cover my mistake, which to me just extended my creativity because I otherwise wouldn't have added that. And now I'll just go ahead and remove the backing here and put that down, and then it'll close nicely. So I'll go ahead and do that with this one. But what I wanted you to see before I close is that it's important that this doesn't hinder this closure here. So you should have a gap at least a 1/4 inch here. And also these tabs here, they're on the other side of the fold. That's why it pushes in. And so I'll show you how to do that. So let me go ahead and set this up and remove the tape. So let's open it up and see if it works. There you go. Laugh, live, create, tell the story. And do what you love is another hidden message. So that's what that looks like. So we'll come back to this card and we'll go ahead and remove the adhesive off this. I'll put it like this. Okay. We'll go ahead and put the tabs on the inside and check them out. We can do it this way and then they'll come in, or we can do it like this, and this card is going to close and pick it up. And when you do this, it'll pick the card up and it'll slide. So that's one way of doing it. The other way is where this fold is, you'd make a line a half an inch out, and then you would take the edge of your panel and line it up like this along the line, and then go down like this, and then this way when the panel is closed, that would be another way of it sliding. So for this card, I'll show it to you where we put it on the inside like this. I'll put some tape here and then we'll close it and let it catch that way. Okay? So I'll get the tape on that and we'll be right back. So I have the adhesive on the panels, and I'll go ahead and take this side, left side off first. Close the panel. And then take the other side. Close the panel. That sit on there for a bit. And let's see. When we open it, and we put one on the top, and we close it. There it is. So now that we have the shutter wings on, Look what I did. I put them both going inward, or the tabs facing the right, but it still works. Still closes. It's going to look funny. So I'm going to have to fix that. So let me take this off and make a correction so it has the tab on the inside. So I was able to remove it and cause little damage. So let's go ahead and put some new tape on. A little too long. Let's go ahead and peel it back. Try this again. But it's important that you see mistakes so that you can see how to fix them. And so now it's been fixed. So sometimes when you find that the panel is having a hard time closing, it snags up, you might have to trim inside your triangle, and that should solve the problem. So I went ahead and fixed that little mistake I made here when it tore the paper, and I think that nobody can tell except us. And now we'll close it one more time, and it closes good. So I went ahead and put the tape on the panel. So now I'm going to add the panel, and I've decided to go ahead and use, rather than the circle punch, the scallop punch I'm going to go ahead and use, because it's a little smaller, and I think it looks better for this size. So what I do is I just put the scallop, I cut out of the flower right there in the middle, line this up, and check it out, see if it closes. There it is. I'll go ahead and line it up. Remove the adhesive on one end and line it up on the card. I did try it with the bigger one, and you can see the difference. There's a slight difference in the size. So I had to remove that one. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one on. Before I put it down, I want to make sure that it's going to close. I'll go ahead and remove this tape and see if it closes. So this is what the finished card looks like. Let's open it up and show you what it looks like. inside. Party animal. Well, I know it's a long video, but I hope you got some inspiration, tips, and motivation to try to make one for yourself. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video when I make the bigger one. And I have lots more projects to share. So until then, thanks for watching. God bless, and see you on the next one. Bye for now.